Hi, I am Dr. Jennifer Keller, and I am an adjunct faculty at PAU, and I have a research group called Neuropsychology, Mood Disorders, and Women's Mental Health. So with my group, we meet once a week. I have a fairly small group, typically take about 2 new students a year. We meet once a week, and students work generally on projects that are ongoing in the lab. Some students and I are starting new projects, so also open to doing new projects. And I have one student who's doing something that's pretty much out of my area, but she's doing some depression and something else. We're pulling in other faculties. So I'm open to doing research projects either within my lab or outside of the lab as well. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the projects that are ongoing in my lab. One is I'm looking at reward processing in major depression. So rewards are things that people revisit and go back to, and people with depression tend to have anhedonia, and so they're tending less to go and revisit things. And so I'm looking at a new medication to see whether it may help with anhedonic symptoms of major depression. This study involves neuropsych, structural and functional brain imaging. There's a treatment component to it, and we're also looking at a lot of clinical data, looking at different symptoms of depression. A new project that we have ongoing right now is self-defense training for women with trauma. So this is a brand new study that's just starting this spring. It's 2011. And this is going to be looking at small groups of women who will do self-defense training. The actual class involves a variety of things, so psychoeducation, skills training, and then the actual self-defense training. So we're going to be doing a small research project on that. Right now that's a pilot study. And so I have 3 or 4 different students working with me on that. I'm very interested in trauma, and a lot of the work that I do is with depressed patients. A lot of the depressed patients that we see have some type of history of trauma. So some of the studies that we've done are very, have a lot of different components to it. So we're looking at brain imaging, we're looking at neuropsychology, neuroendocrine variables, we're looking at trauma histories, we're looking at personality functioning. So we have a lot of different variables that are in one sample, and so I'm just starting to look at the relationship of trauma to these neurobiological and psychosocial factors. And students actually get involved with those studies, doing a lot of posters. We also have similar data on schizophrenia patients. So there's some of the folks that some of my students have been starting to look at the schizophrenia data as well. Again, full neuropsych battery, some neuroendocrine variables and such. And then another new area that I'm starting to get into is looking at mental health in South Asians. And so I have 2 projects that are sort of at the very beginning, early stages. One is looking at mental health in South Asian immigrants. The second one is looking at mental health with a group within a community over in Karachi, Pakistan. So I have people I'm collaborating with over at Aga Khan University in Karachi, and so we're looking at starting to look at mental health symptoms within that group. That's a small pilot project that is just in the development stages, and working cross-culturally across continents is a very slow process. So that's one that is just starting to begin. So I think that's it. So I look forward to having you apply to my research group.